The arena dust swirled in crimson clouds as Marcus Chun stepped between the towering Corvanian gladiator and the trembling elderly woman who had stumbled into the combat zone. The alien warrior, standing nearly 8 feet tall with chitinous armor plating and 4 muscular arms, had been moments away from delivering what the crowd considered a mercy killing, eliminating the confused spectator who had wandered from the stands during the chaos of the tournament. "Stop," Marcus said simply, his voice cutting through the roar of the multi-species crowd that filled the orbital coliseum above Kepler-442b. The Corvanian's compound eyes, fixed on the human, mandibles clicking in what passed for laughter among his kind. "You dare interfere with Thakmer the Bone Crusher. This weak flesh bad disrupted the sacred combat. The penalty is death." Marcus didn't flinch as the gladiator's primary arms flexed, each appendage capable of crushing steel. Around the arena's premium viewing section, 12 women from various worlds, his wives from the diplomatic marriage alliance that had brought peace to this sector, watched with growing concern. They had seen Marcus in negotiations and council chambers, even in minor skirmishes during their courtship campaigns. But they had never seen him face a creature specifically bred for killing. "She's confused and frightened," Marcus replied, helping the elderly human woman to her feet. Her eyes were clouded with the telltale signs of memory displacement syndrome, a common affliction among the first-generation colonists. There's no honor in striking down someone who doesn't understand where she is. Thakmer's secondary arms spread wide, a gesture of dismissive contempt. "Honor? You speak of honor while cowering behind words, soft-skin. The arena has rules. Blood must flow." The crowd's roar intensified, a mixture of anticipation and confusion. Humans were known throughout the galaxy as diplomats and negotiators, not warriors. They were the species that had somehow convinced 12 different warlike races to cease their conflicts and form the Terran Alliance through marriage bonds and trade agreements. But in single combat, they were considered laughably weak. Marcus gently guided the confused woman toward the arena's edge, where medical staff waited. Then he turned back to face Thakmer, his expression calm but resolute. "If blood must flow for your honor," Marcus said, "then let it be mine you spill, not hers." A hush fell over the arena. Even the Corvanian seemed taken aback by the human's challenge. In the viewing boxes, Marcus's wives leaned forward. Zara, the fierce Valkyrie, warrior princess from Asgard Station, gripped her seat. Kiara, the brilliant strategist from the Silicon Territories, ran calculations in her enhanced neural implants. The others, each a leader in her own right, from the aquatic cities of Tiamat to the crystal caves of Quartz Prime, watched with growing understanding. "You cannot be serious," Thakmer chittered. "I am bred for war, enhanced with the finest combat genetics, trained from birth to kill." "And I," Marcus said, rolling up his sleeves to reveal the intricate tattoos that covered his arms, each one representing a peace treaty sign, a war prevented, a species saved from extinction. "And Marcus Chun of Earth, I've stopped 12 interplanetary wars without firing a shot. I've negotiated trade agreements that have fed billions. And I have 12 wives who each married me not because I was strong, but because I was willing to be strong for others." The gladiator lunged forward with impossible speed, all 4 arms striking simultaneously. But Marcus wasn't there anymore. Years of diplomatic missions in hostile territory had taught him that sometimes the best negotiation happened when you proved you couldn't be easily broken. He rolled aside, came up smoothly, and struck the Corvanian's knee joint with precise force. Thakmer stumbled but didn't fall. His kind were notoriously difficult to injure. But Marcus wasn't trying to injure him. He was trying to understand him. As the gladiator spun around, Marcus noticed the scarring on his carapace, the way he favored his left side, the slight delay in his tertiary arm's movement. "You're not just bred for war," Marcus observed, dodging another devastating swing. "You're bred to die for entertainment. When did you last see your homeworld? Your family?" For a moment, Dagmar Essersalt faltered. That is not the arena is my home. No, Marcus said firmly, now standing just out of the gladiator's reach. The arena is your cage. I've read the Corvanian cultural texts. Your people believe in honorable death in defense of others, not in performance for crowds. The crowd was silent now, hanging on every word. In the viewing section, Marcus's wives exchanged glances. This was why they had each chosen him, despite the political convenience of their marriages. This was why, over the months and years of their unconventional union, they had grown to genuinely respect and care for this strange human who seemed to see through to the heart of every problem. Compound eyes flicker with something that might have been remembered pain. What would you have me do, human? I am property of the arena masters. You're a person, Marcus replied. And people deserve better than being property. What happened next would be discussed in diplomatic circles for generations. Marcus Chun, the human negotiator, had somehow convinced the trained killer to surrender not through force, but through the simple revolutionary concept that every sentient being deserved dignity. As arena security moved in to sort out the unprecedented situation, Marcus's 12 wives descended from their viewing box. They surrounded him not as political allies, but as something far more powerful, as individuals who had chosen to follow someone who would risk everything for a confused old woman he'd never met. Later, in their shared quarters aboard the diplomatic vessel, as Marcus tended to the minor injuries from his brief combat encounter, Zara spoke for all of them. We married you for our worlds, she said softly. But today, we choose to call you master not because you command us, but because you've shown us what true strength looks like. Marcus looked up at the 12 remarkable women who had become his family through politics, but remained through choice. I'm not anyone's master, he said. I'm just someone who believes that civilization means protecting those who can't protect themselves. Outside their viewport, the stars wheeled slowly in their courses, and somewhere in the diplomatic pouches was a new treaty, one that would revolutionize gladiatorial combat throughout the sector, ensuring that entertainment would never again come at the cost of dignity. The universe was vast and often cruel, but humanity had found its place in it not through conquest, but through the radical act of caring about others. And sometimes that was the most powerful force of all.